Hello, 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 everyone. I am so happy to be talking to you all today because this topic, I don't want to say dear to my heart, but this topic helped me out a great deal. And I want to tell you why. First, in today's talk, I want to talk about how to do a marketing audit and why you need to do a marketing audit. But as we know, why is so very important because if you don't have a strong enough why, you won't do it. So for me, my why is I like to do a marketing audit because I would rather be out on the beach than sitting at my desk. How about the rest of you? Where would you rather be? Instead of sitting at your desk, maybe pulling your hair out doing marketing campaigns, staring at the results, going over content, trying to figure out what's working, what's not working. We all must have a favorite place, whether it's the top of a ski mountain, it's on the beach, playing golf, reading a good book, taking a nice nap. We all have that favorite thing we'd like to do. And I will tell you, setting out and doing a marketing audit helps you really fine tune what you're doing so that you do exactly what you need to accomplish your goals and your objectives. I found before I started doing an audit, my work day was like this. I felt like I was running in circles. I was doing a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, but I never felt like we were progressing in the right direction. I didn't feel like we were really growing as a company, even though I was working 12, 14 hours a day, waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and working on more ideas and more contents and classes, whatever it was. But the company wasn't getting to that next level. It wasn't until I finally sat down and did an audit. Now, I know when I say audit, we all get a little panicked at first. We think of IRS audits like, oh my God, no. But no, audits are good for every avenue of your life. It's just an inspection of what your marketing initiatives are and how your business is growing. You do an audit. And this is something I like to do at least quarterly. It's like a regular quarterly check-in of how we're progressing as a company. Are we achieving those goals? You know, New Year's usually hits, yay, fireworks, New Year's resolutions, but you also come back into work and you set goals for the year. You think of your new objectives and what you want to accomplish. But do you ever go back to see, are you achieving those goals and objectives? Are you achieving them as quickly as possible? And the best way to achieve those goals and objectives quickly is to be on that straight path. In order to get on a straight path, that's why the audits are important. So I like to do an audit right before the next quarter. So that's why this one is perfect, because you're going to do this audit now and it's going to get you set for the fourth quarter of 2022. It's going to help you finish up this year strong, but then it's also going to give you a strong foundation to start 2023. You're really going to be able to sit down and think of logical goals that you can achieve that can really help you move the business to where you want it to go. So what do you need to do? How can you put together a marketing audit? Now, there's about 5 things I say you need. The first thing is you have to have written down. Now, I usually do this on an Excel spreadsheet. I put all components on an Excel spreadsheet. Then I can move things around. And then in some areas, as you'll see, as we're talking about content, I can do a pivot table where I can split things up or move it depending on the audience, or the type of year. It all depends on what your offer is. You might want to go by seasons. You might want to go by gender. You have to figure that out. But the first thing you need to list on that Excel spreadsheet is, what are your goals? And what are your objectives? What are you trying to accomplish? Like I said, make sure they're realistic. There's nothing worse than saying, oh my goodness, I'm going to triple our sales. Especially here we are, we're sitting the fourth quarter of 2022. You're not going to triple your sales in the quarter. So give yourself realistic goals. The second thing, you've got to truly know and understand your audience. Now, if you've listened to any of my other videos before, I must sound like a broken record. Know and understand your audience. Know and understand your audience. Know and understand your audience. But seriously, people, you've got to know who you're trying to market to in order to do it correctly. And you can't just know them. This is where you've got to understand them. Understand their challenges or their goals. Understand if they have a time crunch. Maybe they have to get something done by the end of the year. Maybe, here's a good one, maybe they've got budget that needs to be used up. That's a good one, because there's companies who want to use up their marketing budget before the end of the year. Otherwise, they lose it. And you want to grab those people. So you got to know and understand that audience, where they're at, what they're thinking. Get in their head so you can speak directly to them. The third thing is know, and this one you're going to think is so silly, but know the inventory of your products and services. What do you have in-house to sell? What services are you really capable of doing? Now, when it comes to services, this is an interesting area because everyone's out there now whitelisting, saying, I can do everything. Come on, people, you can't do everything. So be honest. Tell companies exactly what services you can do. And you might be saying, but Donna, I'm going to lose out on that other business. And you know what? Yes, you're not going to get that business, but you're going to be working in your wheelhouse. So you're going to be able to handle more clients in a shorter period of time. They're going to be extremely happy with your services because you are an expert in that area. So know the inventory of the products you have. Understand those products, what they're used for, how they can be utilized by different people. And when it's services, what services can you deliver in-house? The fourth thing, categories of content. Now, within a marketing audit, you almost could do a content audit. And that's the same thing. How many white papers do you have? How many on-demand webinars do you have? How many different social posts are available? And what type of category? Do you have any guides available? Do you have reports or case studies available? Write all that down. So in one glance, you get to start seeing all this information. Like we said, the audit is kind of an inspection of everything you have, everything you've used, who you're hoping to target. And then the fifth one is the results. How have they all worked? You put this all down in a spreadsheet, and this is where you can start to analyze what content is really pushing you on that direct path to your goals or your objectives. Example, World Innovators. We might have some great content out there. Matter of fact, it was one of our earliest posts, and it was about Coca-Cola. And it does extremely well, but it's not directed towards our target audience. So I get leads in that aren't appropriate for our services. So even though it's a good responsive content, it doesn't serve our goals or objectives. You've got to put all this information down. And when you put it down in one place, that's when you start to say, okay, you know what? Instead of having this all over, you end up being on this straight path to achieving those goals, to achieving your objectives. So this week, I sit down, I do another audit. I look at what I put for last quarter. I see if it's changed, what has changed, add in the new results. And then I think to myself, are my goals the same? Have they changed? And what I'll usually do is I'll have a larger goal, so one that's out there. So maybe it's a yearly or 2-year goal or even a 5-year goal. But then I have short-term goals. So for each quarter, I try to set up goals. And they can be little things like how many speaking engagements do we do within the company? Or how many LinkedIn lives? Little increment goals. Because you know what? We all like to win. We all like to achieve those goals. It's a little like pat you on the back. Good job, you did it. So I love the short-term goals because I get that sense of accomplishment. But the long-term goals are the things that are going to help you see your company grow year after year. Concentrate on pulling those 5 things together. As I said, there is definitely software out there. I do a lot within my HubSpot platform and others, but I wanted to break this down very simple. You can start with an Excel spreadsheet. You don't need anything fancy to get started. The biggest thing right now is to just pull all that information together in one place. Look at it, analyze it, and think about what do you want to do in this last quarter of 2022? How do you want to be positioned heading into 2023? This is the perfect time for you to do an audit. And once you do an audit, because you won't be running around like a crazy person, you will free yourself up for your why, to do those things you love doing. Like I said, whether it's going to the beach. For me, right now, it's going to the beach paddleboarding. In a few months, it's going to be, I'd rather be at the top of a ski mountain than sitting there planning out content every day. Think about your why. Make sure it's a strong why, so it'll keep you going. Pull together those pieces of information. Set up an Excel spreadsheet so you can start to analyze it. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to email me at dpeterson@worldinnovators.com. My email is in the notes below. Or, I also have an marketing audit checklist if you'd like to receive that. Also email me, just write in the subject line, marketing audit checklist, and I'll send that right off to you. But get started. Do it before the end of September so that you can finish 2022 out nice and strong and then have that good foundation for 2023. Talk to you later and have a great day. Bye.